At this very moment, on the sun-scorched soil of Silicon Valley, stands a stadium that was meant to lead the NFL into a new era. But what looked like a futuristic vision quickly turned into a trap. One fatal architectural mistake turned the stands into giant ovens, causing dozens of fans to collapse. One man even lost his life. And the turf, slick and unstable, brought players down like they were dodging landmines. It promised everything: gleaming glass walls, an organic rooftop farm, solar panels, luxury suites, and high-speed Wi-Fi for 70,000 people. But behind the polished exterior hid critical flaws, the kind that cut deeper than any loss on the field. So how did a $1.9 billion stadium, designed to symbolize the future, become a symbol of disappointment? This is the story of the most disappointing stadium ever built in the NFL. For decades, the San Francisco 49ers called Candlestick Park their home. It was cold, foggy, and far from glamorous. But for fans, it was sacred ground. Legends like Joe Montana, Jerry Rice, and Steve Young were made there. So when the idea of a new stadium began to take shape in the early 2000s, the pressure was immense. At first, the goal was to stay in San Francisco. The team, led by CEO Jed York, his father and then owner John York, and CFO Larry McNeil, explored building a new stadium at the Hunters Point shipyard. It was a bold, urban plan, but eventually fell apart due to political delays, land use battles, and soaring costs. That's when Santa Clara entered the picture. Located 40 miles south in the heart of Silicon Valley, it was already home to the team's training facility. But the contrast was striking. This wasn't foggy, blue-collar San Francisco. This was clean, dry, futuristic Silicon Valley, the global capital of tech. And for a franchise eager to reinvent itself, that contrast was part of the appeal. The new stadium wasn't planned just to be modern, but a beacon of innovation, a sleek, tech-forward venue where football met microchips, the place where fans could stream highlights from their seats, order food from their phones, and enjoy the California sunshine surrounded by solar panels and sustainable design. In 2011, the 49ers formally shifted their focus to Santa Clara, but not everyone was on board. The decision to move the team 40 miles south sparked immediate backlash from longtime fans who felt the 49ers were leaving their roots behind. Santa Clara might have offered space and support, but it lacked the soul of San Francisco, and with limited public transit and a more suburban feel, many worried it just wouldn't deliver the same game day atmosphere. The project was handed to HNTB, the architectural firm behind several high-profile sports venues across the U.S., like Allegiant Stadium in Las Vegas and Lucas Oil Stadium in Indianapolis. The planned design was sleek, clean, and high-end. Many felt it was too polished, too corporate, and built more for tech executives than die-hard fans. What came next would be a build unlike any the NFL had ever seen, and one full of quiet flaws that no one caught until it was too late. Construction broke ground on April 19, 2012, marking the start of a fast-tracked, high-stakes project. In just over 2 years, Levi Stadium would rise from a flat stretch of land in Santa Clara into what was promised to be the most advanced stadium the NFL had ever seen.
I realize that this is a bittersweet day for a lot of people, but I want to thank Mayor Lee for making sure that the 49ers in the city of San Francisco.
Crews began pouring deep foundations and laying the complex underground systems, including plumbing, stormwater control, and wiring. Then came the steel. On July 30th, 2012, the first beams were raised, kicking off the vertical build. Within months, the stadium bowl took shape. Tiered seating decks, concrete cores, and wide circulation levels were installed at a rapid pace, with more than 1,000 workers on site at the project's peak. By late 2013, the outer structure was nearly complete. The stadium's clean steel frame and modern glass facade stood in stark contrast to the cold concrete of the old stadium. Wide pedestrian bridges connected the concourses to distant parking areas, and the stadium's sharp geometric design reflected the region's high-tech image. This was no ordinary arena. This was Silicon Valley's stadium. In May 2013, the stadium found its name. Levi Strauss & Company, a San Francisco icon, signed a 20-year, $220 million naming rights deal, giving the stadium local roots and global visibility. For a team embracing a modern identity, It was a branding match that felt both progressive and familiar. Inside, the focus shifted to technology, comfort, and experience. 2 large HD video boards were installed. The main one in the north end zone, 200 feet wide by 48 feet tall, roughly the size of 4 standard highway billboards, and another at the south end zone, slightly smaller at 142 feet wide by 48 feet tall. Together, they provide over 15,000 square feet of LED display space, supplemented by a 1,650-foot-long ribbon board that wraps around the seating bowl. A custom audio system with speakers was embedded behind the end zone video boards, designed to direct sound inward and comply with local noise limits, while press areas are equipped with dedicated multi-channel audio feeds for media use. Over 100,000 square feet of premium club lounges and luxury suites line the interior, offering glassed-in views, upscale concessions, and climate control. But what truly set Levi's apart were the digital innovations, built in from the ground up. It was the first NFL stadium engineered to deliver full connectivity, with high-density Wi-Fi strong enough to let every fan stream, post, and order from their seats. The Stadium app let users access mobile tickets, live replays, and parking maps. These features weren't just upgrades, they were part of the identity. Sustainability was also front and center. Levi Stadium became the first NFL venue to earn LEED Gold certification. Features included LED lighting, recycled materials, and an advanced recycled water system used for both landscaping and restrooms. One standout innovation was the NRG Solar Terrace, a rooftop platform lined with high-efficiency solar. In 2016, the roof was expanded to include Faithful Farm, a working garden that supplied fresh produce for on-site concessions. By July 17, 2014, Levi Stadium was complete. It opened with a ribbon-cutting ceremony and hosted its first event, a Major League Soccer match, on August 2nd. The 49ers' first home game followed just 2 weeks later. From the outside, everything looked flawless, on time, on budget, and packed with features. But then one seemingly small design decision turned into a major problem. Most football stadiums are built east to west, so the sun moves across the field and doesn't shine directly into the stands. But Levi Stadium was built north to south, a deliberate choice to improve TV angles and reduce glare on camera. In theory, it made sense, but in reality, it left the entire east-facing lower bowl exposed to harsh afternoon sun. Fans in those seats found themselves baking through afternoon games. On opening day, temperatures reached triple digits, and dozens of fans sought medical attention for heat exhaustion. One man collapsed and later died from a heart attack. Attempts to fix the shade problem after the stadium opened were complicated by height restrictions. Levi Stadium sits directly under a flight path for San Jose International Airport. Adding a large canopy or roof could have triggered regulatory issues. A small design decision had now turned into a permanent, unfixable problem. Then came the turf problems. Levi Stadium was built with Tifway 2 Bermuda grass, chosen for its durability in California's dry, sunny climate. But almost from day one, players began complaining. The surface felt slippery, uneven, and unstable. Several practices had to be cut short, and at least one game required the entire turf to be resodded midweek. For a stadium that prided itself on cutting-edge design and precision, the grass became a glaring symbol of how something so basic could still go very wrong. Even the sight lines, which had been carefully mapped and modeled, didn't satisfy everyone. In some sections, views of the end zones were obstructed. In others, the distance between fans and the field made the experience feel detached. The open concourse design created flow, but some said it lacked intensity. And with so much attention placed on luxury amenities, the working-class grid of the old 49ers fan base felt increasingly out of place. Levi Stadium checked every box on paper, but still missed the mark in ways no one fully expected. So how would these quiet missteps play out over time? In public opinion, on the balance sheet, and in the legacy of the team's new home? We're about to find out next. Despite early disappointment and backlash from fans, the stadium soon proved to be a financial success. It was built through a public-private partnership between the Santa Clara Stadium Authority, the San Francisco 49ers, and a group of private lenders led by Goldman Sachs. The project also received support from the NFL's G4 loan program. Of the total $1.3 billion construction cost, About $1.88 billion in today's dollars, $114 million came from Santa Clara public funds, primarily generated through hotel taxes and future stadium revenue. From 2014 to 2023, Levi Stadium is estimated to have generated more than $2 billion in economic activity for Santa Clara County, including over $550 million in personal income and a noticeable boost in local tax revenue. The venue hosted nearly 155 major events, from Super Bowl 50 to concerts, college football championships, and WrestleMania, earning the city more than $350 million in direct revenue. On the field, the 49ers quickly returned to form. Within 5 years, they were back in the playoffs, and by 2019, back in the Super Bowl. Levi Stadium also secured its place on the global stage, hosting the 2019 College Football Playoff National Championship and being selected as a venue for 6 matches in the 2026 FIFA World Cup. But for all its achievements, public opinion remained divided. Fan surveys regularly place Levi's near the bottom of the NFL rankings for atmosphere and comfort. Heat exposure, local complaints, and a lack of emotional connection continued to haunt its reputation. And while the building itself was technically sound, early attendance numbers and fan engagement fell short of expectations. Levi Stadium revealed a hard truth. Even the most advanced design can fall short if it doesn't connect with the people who fill its seats. Because building a stadium is one thing, but building a sense of belonging is something else entirely. So, the question lingers, will Levi Stadium ever win the loyalty and love that Candlestick inspired? Or will it remain the most disappointing NFL stadium ever? Only time will tell. Ready to be amazed by the next groundbreaking construction project? Click on the video now and dive into a world where engineering and imagination collide. See you there.